In January 1924, Vladimir Lenin died. The creator of the Soviet Union was gone. Bizarrely, his brain was immediately sliced into 30,000 sections so scientists could study his intellect. But politically, he left behind a massive blind spot. He hadn't named a successor. The Soviet Union spanned a sixth of the Earth's landmass, contained 165 million people, and was attempting a totally new economic system with absolutely no constitutional rulebook for who should take charge. Leon Trotsky looked like the obvious choice. He was the rock star of the Bolsheviks, a brilliant, highly educated theorist who literally built the Red Army and led it to victory in the Civil War. He also happened to be incredibly arrogant. Right behind him were men like Grigory Zinoviev, Lev Kamenev, and Nikolai Bukharin. These were highly visible heavyweights. They wrote the party's theory, they controlled the media, and they dominated public debates. Everyone expected the next leader to come from this group of intellectuals. But this specific power vacuum contained a fatal trap. These contenders all incorrectly believed that replacing Lenin required proving their ideological brilliance and winning arguments in front of the party. That assumption blinded them to the actual mechanics of political survival. They completely dismissed a man from Georgia named Joseph Stalin. He lacked their wealthy backgrounds and elite education. To the prominent intellectuals, he was uncultured, rough, and, as one rival dismissively called him, a gray blur. In fact, in his final months, Lenin himself grew terrified of Stalin's behavior. Lenin wrote a final testament explicitly demanding that the party remove Stalin from his post. Yet the testament was suppressed by the other leaders, and Stalin survived. He survived because of a job no one else wanted. In 1922, Stalin was appointed general secretary. To the visionaries, it looked like a tedious administrative position, a role entirely focused on boring paperwork and routine committee files. But the general secretary controlled appointments. Stalin used this paperwork to place his own people into local party positions across the country. He recruited hundreds of thousands of poorly educated working-class members who cared less about complex Marxist theory and more about the jobs Stalin provided. Success in this system didn't require winning public debates. It required setting up a tactical chessboard where hand-picked delegates could outvote rivals, one committee meeting at a time. If we look at the political bracket in 1924, Stalin's first target is Trotsky, sitting at the top as the clear favorite. Stalin knows he lacks the authority to take Trotsky head-on, so he targets his rival's overconfidence. It starts with a simple trick at Lenin's funeral. Stalin feeds Trotsky the wrong date for the event. While Trotsky is absent, Stalin steps up to deliver the main eulogy, officially presenting himself to the country as Lenin's most devoted disciple. Next, Stalin forms an anti-Trotsky alliance with Zinoviev and Kamenev. They share a mutual fear of Trotsky taking over the military, so they combine their voting blocs to isolate him. When Trotsky shows up to the party congress demanding sweeping economic changes, he walks into a trap. Stalin has packed the hall with his hand-picked delegates. They systematically vote down every single proposal Trotsky makes, stripping him of his military title and his political influence. Trotsky's brilliant speech-making and historical prestige were instantly neutralized. A coordinated block of committee votes crushed him. Zinoviev and Kamenev soon realize they've been used. Having successfully destroyed Trotsky, they now see Stalin's power growing unchecked. In a panic, they attempt a hypocritical alliance with their former enemy, Trotsky, to form a united opposition. Stalin simply discards them. He breaks off and immediately forms a new alliance with Nikolai Bukharin and the moderate right wing of the party. To cement this alliance, Stalin adopts Bukharin's policy of socialism in one country, the idea that the Soviet Union should focus on surviving alone. Stalin championed this moderate stance because it guarantees him majority support from Bukharin's delegates. Armed with this new voting majority, Stalin drops the hammer. He accuses his former allies of illegal factionalism, organizing an unapproved opposition group. The Congress, packed with Stalin's supporters, votes to expel all three men from the Communist Party. Political ideology had become a tactical weapon. By shifting his stance to match whoever held the most votes, Stalin could isolate any enemy at will. The board is now cleared of everyone except Bukharin. Bukharin feels secure, believing he is the co-leader of Stalin's moderate alliance. In 1928, Stalin executes a dramatic policy U-turn. He abruptly abandons the moderate economic approach he just spent years defending. Instead, he adopts the extreme policies of rapid industrialization that his defeated rivals used to champion. This shift pulls the rug out from under Bukharin. When Bukharin tries to defend the old moderate policies at party meetings, it no longer matters what he says. Stalin uses his built-in majority of loyalists to simply outvote Bukharin and strip him of his posts. Bukharin's collapse demonstrated a shift in how the party functioned. Logic and debate were gone, replaced by the sheer arithmetic of the General Secretary's loyalists. By 1929, Trotsky was in exile, his rivals were politically destroyed, and the man once dismissed as a paperwork administrator held total, unchallenged control of the Soviet state. The early favorites for leadership failed because they treated politics as a game of ideological purity and visionary speeches. Stalin approached leadership as an administrative math problem. He relied on bureaucracy, vote counting, and ruthless patience. In the complex machinery of modern government, absolute power rarely goes to the loudest revolutionary. It goes to the person who quietly owns the machine.